Christina, a tetrad must be the most complex of the harmonies we've looked at. And within that, you've shown that you're able to control a variety of values and saturations with only that foursome of hues. Um, Interestingly, the exterior sort of braid pattern is looking crinkly, something like a paper cutout, sort of snowflake-like thing. And I'm looking toward the interior of the design where shapes are looped, and that's feeling then a little like a paper chain. So I'm noticing this other theme in your work. Hi, Lakia. Of course, this is a triad with yellow, magenta, and cyan. Looking at your artist statement, I see what you mean when you talk about a contrast between the floral theme and the rugged texture. And actually, this pattern looks a little like a stone wall, especially when accentuated with the texture filter. You know, I lament a little bit that you let go of your initial idea because that seemed very much of your own making. While this is a creative coloration of what I think is a stained glass filter effect, I have seen this before. Not just the way you did it, but I've seen it before. It's probably very new to you. I feel that your previous design was a little more original. Hi, Brandy. We're not as well acquainted with your project since you've been running behind due to some computer troubles. You know, I put the week 5 assignment 3 in here because it wasn't ready when I did the week 5 review. And looking at those smaller files, it's hard to see if you're having the same trouble there that we see in the final project. In the final project, your image is deteriorating considerably, and I am not sure exactly why. I'd have to look over what it was that you did, or maybe see your native file. One thing I'll say is be sure not to work on a JPEG. Always work on an AI or a PSD, and save your work there. I see that you made this design a little more complex with the addition of the small pinwheels, and I'm wondering if you're still thinking about this as a tattoo design. Hi, Tina. Like Brandy, I put your week 5 assignment 3 in here. I know that you've been involved with matters at work. Um, Looking at your final project, there are some adjustments there. For instance, some shapes have been made dimensional. This is a nice example of an analogous harmony. Well, Tanya, I noticed that in one of the week 5 critiques, a classmate suggested that maybe your design could be expanded, or it looked like it was just the beginning. And I've also read your remarks. I understand that you created this in rather painstaking fashion. You really filled out this design, and no doubt this was a lot of work. This appears to be a complementary harmony, using a green and violet opposite on the color wheel. As mentioned earlier, there is a resolution issue, and I know you sought to repair that, but what I'm thinking now is the problem exists in the native file. So it might be the matter that you want to make sure to start at 300 pixels per inch in future, and save your work at every step. Hi, Tiffany. I just pulled up an image of an atom from the internet to compare that with your final project because, as mentioned before, this reminds me of a combination of a scientific atom and a quaint patchwork quilt, an unusual combination. So I just consulted your artist's statement because I wasn't sure if this was done wholly in Illustrator. And it seems that you did use Illustrator primarily. Certainly, there are a lot of strokes here, but I noticed that when you're changing colors, sometimes you're getting a little bit of bleed, which is a problem we meet with more in Photoshop. So I'm wondering if you brought this back and forth between the two programs. What I would say is, for future, this sort of design is best made solely in Illustrator, and I'm sure that you gained a lot of skills in that program for the creation of this, and that your skills will grow. Just some little tiny things, I look at how that center horizontal oval almost touches the left side and touches the right side. And I look at that zigzag circle and I notice how it sits on top of the inside circle and hangs down on the bottom. Well, hi, Althea. I didn't see a draft from you on this, submitted the night before the due date. And when I opened up your final project, I thought, wow, this is a lot different. And then I took a look at the variety of drafts that you had posted during the due date, and I could see the evolution of your work. And note also that you were indeed working in Photoshop because there are some strokes. Actually, this is really quite a beautiful design. I think that the stacked squares in the corners are nice, and I like a little variety there, but it seems like the last shape toward the outside and through the corners is something other than a rectangle, which is got my attention and at the same time looks just a tad bit odd. I think that you've been successful in your harmony. I think the colors you've chosen are quite good, and I'm glad that you revised your artist statement. It's quite polished now. Well, Robin, it was a pleasure to look over your artist statement and see your enthusiasm for what you've been able to learn with Photoshop and what you want to do with it next. It seems here you've accomplished your goals. You have seen my notes on your early draft for this assignment. At first, when I saw that, I thought, this is very unusual. It's very quiet, sort of somber, maybe simple even. But as I looked at it, I came to like it more. On the other hand, this image is complex and fragmented. There's a lot going on, and the central image is a recognizable sun with a face. So the two designs have very different qualities, and there are strengths in each.